Hello friends, welcome back. Here is our next question from CA Final Audit MCQs and case-based scenarios. Question number 46. While auditing the complete set of consolidated financial statements of Tulips Limited, a listed company, using a fair presentation framework, Messrs. Pinto and Co., a chartered accountant firm, discovered that the consolidated financial statements are materially misstated due to the non-consolidation of a subsidiary. The material misstatement is deemed to be pervasive to the consolidated financial statements. The effects of the misstatement on the consolidated financial statements have not been determined because it was not practicable to do so. Thus, Messrs. Pinto and Co. decided to provide an adverse opinion for the same and further determined that there are no key audit comment whether Messrs. Pinto and Co. need to report under SA 701 communicating key audit matters in the independent auditor's report. Here this Pinto and Co. has taken an incorrect decision because even if you are giving your reasons as to why you have given your adverse opinion, but still you need to mention the same, at least you should refer this point in your key audit matters. And hence this decision of Pinto and Co. is wrong. We'll go through the options and decide the final answer. Option A, Messrs. Pinto and Co. have the option to follow SA 701. Thus, need not to report any key audit matters. This is wrong. Because you need to report key audit matters. Option B, SA 701 is mandatory in the case of audit of listed entities. However, as there are no key audit matters other than the matter to be described in the basis for adverse opinion section, no key audit matter para needed to be stated under audit report. Even this option is saying no key audit matters to be stated. So, even this option is wrong. We'll go through the next option, option C. SA 701 is mandatory in the case of audit of listed entities. However, as there are no key audit matters other than the matter to be described in the basis of adverse opinion section, Messrs. Pinto and Co. shall state under key audit matter para that except for the matter described in the basis for adverse opinion section, we have determined that there are no other key audit matters to communicate in our report. Yes, this is the correct way of giving your audit report. So option C is the correct answer, but still we'll go through the other option. Messrs. Pinto and Co. is under compulsion to follow SA 701 as the audit is a listed company and shall report under key audit matter para the same matter same as key audit matter para the matter same as stated in adverse opinion. Basis for adverse opinion, you should give a clear cut point that same except to the point that was discussed in key adverse opinion paragraph, nothing to be stated. So option C is our correct answer, and we'll go through question number 47. In case of GST audit by tax authorities, the registered person shall be informed by way of notice of not less than how many working days prior to the conduct of audit. Select the correct option from the following. It is option B, 15 days. So, at least 15 working days has to be given to the concerned SSC, that means a registered person, about the conduct of audit. So, it is 15 working days. Question number 48. Messrs. Jamwant Gyms Private Limited is having 4 branches across India. Its branch-wise turnover during the financial year 18-19 is Mumbai 3.65 crore, Delhi 1.65 crore, Chennai 2 crore, and Kolkata nil. The company would be subject to audit under Section 35 subsection 5 of CGST Act. Select the correct option from the following. So, which branches are subject to audit? That is what they are asking. So all branches, there is no question as to particular branch is getting exempted. So all branches are subject to audit. Option D is the correct answer. All the branches would be subject to audit because GST audit is always a PAN based audit. And we'll go through question number 49. Question number 49. AV Limited is in the business of manufacturing of chemicals and has a net worth of 700 crore. The company has been preparing its financial statements as per Ind AS. For the purpose of Form 3CD, that is our tax audit report, management did not identify any items which may require adjustments because of differences between Ind AS and ICDS. However, the tax auditors during the course of their audit identified few items where adjustments are required to be made and accordingly should be reported under clause 13E of Form 3CD. Further, tax auditors also are of the view that disclosures in respect of ICDS should be made in clause 13F of Form 3CD, which the management has not done. In this case, please suggest which of the following would be the correct option. So it is asking the impact of these adjustments between Ind AS and ICDS. We'll go through the options and we'll identify the correct one. If the impact of adjustments relating to ICDS identified by the auditors is material, then such adjustments need to be reported in Form 3CD. Yes. And disclosures in respect of ICDS should in any case be given in Form 3CD. So even if it is material or immaterial, it has to be disclosed in Form 3CD. Also, in case of any material adjustments, the same has to be disclosed. Okay, the impact of such adjustments has to be given. So option A is the correct option. But still we'll go through the other options. We'll quickly run through the options. Need to be reported in Form 3CD. To give disclosures in respect of ICDS is management's choice. No, there is no such choices. You need to give the disclosure as per ICDS. And in case of material adjustments, the impact has to be given. Option C, both the impact of adjustments relating to ICDS identified by the auditors, whether material or immaterial, and disclosures need to be mandatorily reported in Form 3CD. So, in case of immaterial adjustments, there is no such requirement as to disclosure in Form 3CD. Option D, ICDS and Ind AS do not have any differences and hence assessment of auditors doesn't seem to be correct. Hence, no reporting would be required under clause 13E of Form 3CD. If there is no reporting requirement under clause 13E, then reporting under 13F would also not to be required in Form 3CD. This is entirely wrong. So, the correct option is option A. We'll go through our next question. Question number 50. OSK Limited was incorporated on 15th of February 2020. The company chose to prepare its financial statements for the purposes of Companies Act 2013. For the period from 15th of February to 31st of March 2021, as it's the first reporting period. The company had a turnover of 6 crore for the period ended 31st March 2020. Which is expected to increase to 50 crores for the period ended 31st of March 2021. Okay, the company filed its income tax return for the financial year 31st of March 2020 before 30th September. We'll assume that there are no further extensions has been given. The company would prepare its financial statements for a period from auditors. In this case, please suggest which of the following would be correct. We'll go through the options one by one. Option A, the company would be exempt from tax audit for 2019-20 and for 2020-21 the company would need Form 3CB under tax audit. No, the company is covered for 19-20 also under tax audit. Because the company's turnover as on 31st of March 2020 is 6 crores. So this particular company is subjected to tax audit for 1920 also. Hence option A is incorrect. And we'll go through this option B. The company would be covered under tax audit for 1920, 2021. Yes, okay. It would need Form 3CA for both these years. No. Form 3CB for 1920 and 3CA for 2021. That is the correct way. It doesn't need 3CA for both the years. So we'll go through option C. The company would be covered under tax audit for 1920 and 2021. It would need Form 3CB for both these years. No. 3CA for the second 2021 and 3CB for 1920. We'll go through option D. The company would be covered under tax audit for 1920 and 2021. It would need 3CB for 1920 and 3CA for 2021. Yes, this is the correct option. Because look, this company has been formed on 15th of February. And it ended its first financial year as per income tax is 31st of March 2020. So this 1 month 15 days we'll go through our next question. In this video, we are going to discuss 10 questions. Okay. Question number 51. BCO Private Limited is operating in India for the last 15 years. It has 3 group companies, 1 subsidiary in India and the other 2 in Ireland and France. All these subsidiaries were acquired one by one and investments were made in these companies gradually. That is, initial control was not obtained and after investment for some period, control was obtained. The statutory auditors have evaluated that all the group companies are significant for the purpose of audit of consolidated financial statements. During the year ended 31st of March 2019, the audited financial statements of all the components are available except for French company whose audit got delayed and would not get completed before the release date of consolidated financial statements of parent company. For the purpose of consolidation, the parent company has provided the audited financial statements of other components. Please suggest what would be the possible situation in respect of financial statements of French company for the purpose of consolidation for the purpose of audit of consolidated financial statements. So here French subsidiary financials are not available with us, and what is the correct course of action that auditor has to take? We'll go through the options. Option A, since the audit of French company is in the process, its financial statements subject to audit can be considered by auditor for parent company, and audited signed financials can be given only. No, this is not just a matter of documentation. It needs to be considered while preparing CFS. Okay. We'll go through the option B. Option A is not correct. If any particular companies or any particular subsidiary company financials are not given, auditor should think accordingly and should modify his opinion. Okay. We'll go through option B. The management should give management accounts to the auditors of CFS. And auditor can mention the same point in other matter paragraph in his audit report, which is an acceptable approach. No, this is not an acceptable approach. We'll go through option C. Auditor should get the financial statements of French company excluded from CFS. Now, how can you exclude a particular company financials from CFS just because their audit is not completed? So even this option is wrong. We'll go through option D. If the auditor doesn't receive audited financial statements of French company, he should modify his audit report. Yes, he should modify his report and he should give his opinion accordingly. So option D is the correct option. We'll go through the next question, question number 52. KB Limited is engaged in the business of construction. It has multiple subsidiaries and associates in India. The company acquired Triple P in Germany on 1st of February 2019. The company also obtained control in Triple P on the same date. Its investment was of a huge amount. The company has been preparing its CFS over the last few years, and this has also become a matter of concern for the company for the year ended 31st of March 2019. The management is of the view that consolidation of triple P position. However, the auditors haven't been agreeing for the same. The timeline of submission of audited financial statements is due in few months' time. In the meantime, the management moved on the consolidation of triple P, taking audited financial statements of triple P which were available in the GAAP of its local country and GAAP conversion adjustments for its local GAAP to Indian GAAP have been made by the parent company. Okay, because this company is in Germany, the local GAAP of Germany has been followed, and such Germany GAAP has been taken into consideration for preparation of triple P's financial statements. Now they are being converted into the Indian GAAP. Okay, GAAP conversion adjustments are significant at CFS level. In the meantime, the management has also been consulting whether the consolidation would be required or not, also considering the fact that comparative figures in case of triple P would not be available. So it is thinking, what if the comparative figures are not available? Further, the auditors have also raised observation regarding the GAAP conversion agreement adjustments over which the management has a disagreement. As per the management, the auditors are not required to comment on GAAP adjustments because audited financial statements of triple P have been given to the auditors. Please help to resolve these matters. So it is asking, what will you do? So consolidation has to be done at any cost, and the concerned GAAP adjustments are to be are not required to be audited. No, because you need to audit and give the final CFS. Option B, consolidation of triple P should not be done, and accordingly GAAP conversion adjustments would not arise. No, this is not the correct way, because this is one of your subsidiary which you need to consolidate. Option C, consolidation of triple P should be done and GAAP conversion adjustments are also required to be audited. Yes, this is the correct option. So option C is our correct option. Option D, consolidation of triple P is a choice of the management as the accounting standard does not mandate this. However, in case it is done, then GAAP conversion adjustments would be required to be audited. No, this is not at the choice. This has to be done. So option C is our correct option. We'll go through question number 53. VDN Limited is a medium-sized company engaged in the business of retail. It has 2 subsidiaries and 1 joint venture. Both the subsidiaries are large in size as compared to the parent company. The accounting policies of a parent company, its subsidiaries and joint venture were same. However, during the year ended 31st of March 2019, one of its subsidiary, SMA Private Limited, changed the method of depreciation of property, plant and equipment to WDV, which is different from the method followed by the parent company, that is SLM. Further, this subsidiary also changed the method of valuation from FIFO to weighted average method, which has become different from the parent, as the parent follows FIFO method. These changes were made by the subsidiary because it reflected the better picture to ensure that accounting policies of the group company should align with that of the parent in line with the requirements of accounting standard. But the management of the parent and the subsidiary company believe that out of 3 group companies other than parent, only 1 group company requires this change for the purpose of consolidation. And the same should be ignored by the auditors. Please suggest. So it is asking whether a particular difference of accounting methods, accounting policies that are followed Is that acceptable or shall we ignore the same? So this is what we need to give our suggestion. The view of the management is correct. Option A says it is correct. No, it is not correct. Because management is asking auditor to ignore that particular particular company, one of the group company. So this is wrong. We'll go through option B. For CFS, method of depreciation of SMA Private Limited may continue to be different. However, method of valuation of inventory should be aligned with that of the parent. Yes, even if you value inventory at a different method, accounting policies, that's fine. But however, the valuation of inventory should be in line with the company. However, as with regard to the valuation of assets, that can be fine if you use WDV or SLM. We'll give a particular disclosure accordingly. So option B seems to be correct, but still we'll go through the other options. For CFS, method of valuation of inventory of CMA may continue to be different. However, method of depreciation should be in line with that of the parent. No. Because fixed assets can be valued at either of the methods and appropriate disclosures will be given in line with that of the parent. So inventory of one of the group company which is following weighted average, that should be converted into FIFO. So option B still remains the right answer. Option D, the auditor should get these changes made in the standalone financial statements of SMA Private Limited. No, you just can't change the standalone financial statements which were audited and given to the customer investors also. So option B is the correct option. So method of depreciation can be different, but method of valuation of inventory has to be the same. So that is our final answer. We'll go through the next question, question number 54. AJ Private Limited is engaged in the business of retail having annual turnover of 1800 crore. The company has a plan to get listed on Bombay Stock Exchange next year. The company has 3 associates, 4 subsidiaries and 1 joint venture. The company prepares its consolidated financial statements on a quarterly basis for the purpose of internal purposes. The quarterly financials are reviewed by the statutory auditors of the company. The group companies of a parent company have increased in terms of their size, looking at the total assets and the revenue of the group. For the purpose of audit of consolidated financial statements for the year ended 31st of March 2020, management has requested statutory auditors that it would be able to provide management certified accounts of a joint venture as its audit would not get completed on time, and even without joint venture, the auditor would be able to cover 75% of total assets of the group at consolidated level. However, the statutory auditors are requirements of accounting standard, and for that financials of joint venture shall also be audited. Please advise. So we'll go through the options. Option A, auditor should accept the management certified accounts of JV, evaluate implications on audit report as qualification may be required for unaudited components as per SA 705. Yes, auditor may think upon qualifying or giving his opinion. While giving his opinion, he may evaluate the implications and accordingly qualify his report. So this seems to be correct answer. We'll go through other options also. Option B, auditor cannot accept the management certified accounts of JV and should report the matter to the registrar of companies. No, from where this registrar of companies came into picture, I don't know. So this is not a correct option. Option C, auditors should not accept management certified accounts of JV and should report the matter to the Securities Stock Exchange Board of India, considering the plan to get listed in next year. No, this is nowhere related. Option D, auditors should accept management certified accounts of JV provided the revenue of JV is less than 10% of total revenue of the group. No, there are no such conditions. So option A is the correct option. Auditor should accept the management certified accounts of JV, evaluate implications on audit report as qualification will be required for unaudited components. We'll go through the last question of the day. Advik Limited is an unlisted public company. The company acquired few companies in the last 3 to 4 years which have been assessed. The company prepares its condensed consolidated financial statements every quarter to review the performance of the group. In the past years, the company used to get the financials of its components reviewed or audited on a quarterly basis. AJ & Co. LLP is a statutory auditor of a parent company, and KSH and Associates is a statutory auditor of all the components. Quarterly condensed consolidated financial statements of the group are reviewed by the statutory auditors as per the terms of engagement letter. AJ & Co. LLP has communicated to Advik Limited that in line with the requirements of Companies Act 2013, it would also be required to undertake audit or limited review of all the components which would be consolidated with those of the Advik Limited, and for which KSH and Associates are the statutory auditors currently. So AJ & Co. wants to review or conduct a limited review or undertake an audit of components also, for which presently KSH are the statutory auditors. Management is not agreeing with the same, as they don't want to change KSH and Associates as auditors of the components, and the requirement mentioned by AJ & Co. LLP would lead to duplication of work of auditors as well as the management. Please advise. So whatever AJ & Co. Limited LLP is asking Advik Limited is valid or not, that is what we need to say. We'll go through the options. Option A, in an audit or review of consolidated financial statements, whether condensed or auditor, and hence the requirement of auditor is valid. No, this is not valid. He can use the work of other auditors, but this way of using is not required, because here the auditor is saying I don't want to use the work of other auditor, I want to conduct the audit. So this view of auditor is not correct. We'll go through option B. In an audit or review of consolidated financial statements, whether condensed or complete, the principal auditor is required to perform various procedures in accordance with the requirements of Companies Accounts and Audit Rules 2014, and hence the requirement of auditor is valid. No, there is no such requirement that various performances has to be done. We'll go through the option C also. In an audit or review of consolidated financial statements, whether condensed or complete, the principal auditor is not required to re-perform audit or limited review of components, and hence the requirement of auditor is not correct, because same work has already been done by KSH and Associates, and now you want to re-perform the auditor. So there is no such particular rules or conditions in either in standards or in the company's accounts and audit rules. So option C seems to be correct, but still we'll go through the other option. Management and the auditor need to decide this mutually, as this is based on the contractual agreement between them. So there is no such thing. So option C is the correct option. With this, we have completed our 10 questions for today, and we'll continue with and hit the bell icon to get the latest updates. Thanks for watching.